Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here. Race number 2 of the TNT Rock Block, and it is coming to you tonight from New Jersey Motorsports Park. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us here, and I'm joined in the booth tonight, as always, by Mr. James Watson. And I'll tell you what here, James, practice just finishing up. You can tell by the look of this place, this is a tech track, and it makes things very difficult because there's really nothing in the way of braking marker help.
Well, the weird thing about this is you see everything kind of granulated. The trippiest thing about a tech track is when you actually pass by them and then they dissipate like Thanos went wild with the Infinity Stones again. Because this was on the schedule for the Season 1 of Bolt back when it was known as the RIL Tuner Series, and I competed in that race. And if you look closely, and from what I gather, this is not a well-known little factoid, you can see the tiny little outline of the braking markers, and it dissipates similar to the rest of the amenities and other things around the track, quote, around track. But it's not that easy for most to see, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of people just braking by instinct and hope, and that may make this race pretty interesting, because when you have to hope on something, especially making the corner and not killing the car ahead of you, yeah, that usually doesn't end too well.
Yeah, and let's pick up our qualification times here. Chris Kresge looks like he's going to be one of, if not the first cars to get a lap in here. This is the layout that utilizes the second chicane as they run up the hill here. This is one of those places that turn 1 is going to be a little bit tricky. Kresge now making his way down, I believe, and again, this is I believe, going to be through turn number 7 there. He'll make the right-hander here at turn 8. And this is where you really get into the kind of flowing technical part of the racetrack. Turn 9 all the way through turn 14 at the end of the course.
Yeah, the little ponytail bit at the other end of this track, that's the hardest section of the track. I can't tell you how many times I yeeted it off at that section, because with the lack of being able to figure stuff out, I just was always guessing wrong. This track is very difficult.
Yeah, you can sort of get an idea of the outlines of things here as drivers make their way down the front stretch. Chris Kresge's lap going to be 119.332. Pick up Christian Jasper, who's just set quick time at a 117.823. You can definitely get a feel that there's something there. And basically, it's a tech track because iRacing just hasn't finished developing the inside of the racetrack yet. This place, though, the layout is really neat because it is very fast, very flowing through turns 1 and 2. Even the so-called chicane at 3, 4, 5 really isn't a super tight chicane like you think of at a Monza or something like that. It really is almost like two different racetracks. One end of it is very fast and flowing. The other end is very technical, and you can't miss your marks.
And that chicane is no joke either, because the curbing is very severe. So if you catch that wrong, you're gonna send the car flying. Again, I speak from experience.
J.W. Miller's jumped up to second quick, and it looks like Christian Jasper may have abandoned the lap here. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, he absolutely has. Let's pick up J.W. Miller here in the Team Watson racing cars. He's going to come around to finish his second lap. Simon Fell and Wes Shire also on pretty good laps here. 10 cars going to make up the entry list here this evening. Let's take a look at the results from 1 week ago, and then we'll follow that up with our point standings for the evening here. Simon Fell getting the race win by 10 seconds at Olton Park over James Curtis. Stephen Thompson rounded out your podium. J.W. Miller and Bill Walker were the top 5. Championship standings here have a very tight battle here at the front. J.W. Miller with a 10-point lead over Wes Shire. Simon Fell only 5 points back in third. Another 9 back to James Curtis in fourth. We really can't count out anybody at this point, all the way back to probably 6th place, Timothy Watson.
Yeah, hopefully Tim has a little bit better luck this time. He ended up bringing home the win in the Esser Elite race just a little bit ago, so hopefully he can keep that train rolling.
Just past the 5-minute mark in qualification. New quick time, top of the board. Wes Shire going to be in at a 1:17.446. Is it really a surprise that Wes is going to go top of the board here? But new quick time, Christian Jasper, 1:17.427. This speaks well to this being a very good layout for these race cars, and quite frankly, a lot of very quick race cars here as we're down past the halfway point in qualifying.
Yeah, as much of a pain as this track is, it's really fun, and I really wish they would finish it. You know, this track needs to be on actual official schedules because it is a blast.
Yeah, it's everything you want a road course to be. I'll say it that way. Is Wes going to go off track here just a little bit? Let's pick up Stephen Thompson. Got the win in the TNT Free V Series just a few minutes ago. He's going to move up to 5th quick at a 1:18.282 as we've got cars backwards all over the place out here.
Yeah, that was Timothy's car. He he's having an interesting qualifying session by the looks of it.
Let's take a look at our weather conditions for the race here, presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 80-degree ambient temperature, 63% humidity. Wind's going to be out of basically the north here, although it seems like things are swirling a little bit at 2 miles per hour. Now things have settled down. Looks like out of the west, I guess. Well, maybe not. Yeah, winds are kind of blowing all over the place. Partly cloudy skies, 94-degree track temperature. That'll come into play here with these drivers fighting for grip on this racetrack. Stephen Thompson going to jump up to the 4th position. Christian Jasper on an absolute flyer. He is purple in 2 consecutive sectors, working through this last little chunk here through turn 13, now turn 14. $1:17.129. Wow. What a lap for Christian Jasper. He just went 3/10 up on Wes Shire. My goodness, man. Wes is quick on an absolute flyer as well here, but I don't know that he's going to have anything for that 1:17 lap. No, he does not. I don't know that anybody's going to get close to that lap by Christian Jasper.
Yeah, he has been on one since last week's rock block debacle for him. He brought home the win in the second split Thursday night in the PM18s, the one that we weren't broadcasting, unfortunately. And then he also brought home an Indy Open win. So, my man's on a roll. Look at that.
Taking a look here at the upcoming schedule as we're down to the last 60 seconds or so of qualifications. Another new racetrack coming up here for the National Racing Network next week. That'll be the Phillip Island circuit. We're going to head down under. Then we're off to Suzuka, Sebring, Sonoma, and then the second oval of the season at the Richmond Raceway before we head off to Road Atlanta. And we've got a lot of courses here, James, coming up that really seem like they're going to fit this car pretty well.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to the Sonoma round. I'll be there pulling double duty.
Interesting piece of trivia here. No repeat winners yet this season.
Oh, wow. No one was going to beat Jasper's time, but Wes came close. Look at that. 3/1000ths of a second off.
3/1000ths, and he's going to have another shot at it here as checkered flags have just come out. Shire goes a little bit slower through the first sector, a little bit slower through sector 2 as well.
Unless he cuts the corner, I don't think he's going to make up to orange sector.
J.W. Miller up to third quick, but he's 0.8 of a second off Jasper and Shire. My goodness, this could be a party at the front of the field between these two. The rest of the field is not all that far apart. Miller, Thompson, Kresge, Simon Fell, they're all within 0.3 of a second of each other. Then a little bit bigger of a gap back to Matt Houston, Bill Walker, Timothy Watson, and Peter Donchak. I'll tell you what, though, here, James, this could get very, very exciting here with really 2 to 3 distinctly different groups running around this racetrack.
And there's a lot of draft on this track. Theoretically, these are similarly draft sensitive like their older brothers, the PM18. We could see a lot more cars a lot closer together than we think.
Taking a look at the comments here as we get ready for the grid. Jason Owens, you win. Incredible how much Tech Track New Jersey looks like Barron Real Life New Jersey.
Shots fired.
Big Mac, I know, this is Mike McCullen, by the way. I know a few people that work at NJMP, and I've been told that the track's owners are trying to get iRacing to come back to finish scanning the track. Yeah, I mean, man, get it done. The Onion, not the only recent Ezra winner on the stream. Yes, Connor Baldwin picking up a dominant win 1 week ago at the Red Bull. Jeff Davis, God, this looks so bloody strange. Yes, it does. It looks kind of dumpster fire-ish, and I am completely here for it. Field going to get ready to jump out onto the starting grid.
Yeah, the biggest strangeness about the Tech Trackness of it is seeing the big Subaru billboard, and then you pass underneath it, and it just dissipates away. You feel like you're in an apocalypse movie. It's such an unnerving feeling.
Yeah, it's a bridge. It's actually the pedestrian bridge to access the infield. And, yeah, it is very weird. Having been out there to cover the Road to Indy weekend a few weeks ago, it is very, very strange looking. We'll say it that way. 10 cars going to make up the starting grid here this evening, and they will be led to the green by Christian Jasper. Pole sitter tonight by 2/1000ths over West Shire. J.W. Miller and Simon Fell going to occupy row number 2. Stephen C. Thompson, Chris Kresge on row number 3. Matt Houston, Bill Walker on row 4. Timothy Watson and Peter Donchak on the 5th row. You can see the gaps there. The top 2 in a class by themselves. 3 through 6 are all very tight. 7 through 10 are going to be kind of in a third group, so to speak here. This one is going to be a ton of fun to watch. What do you think we see here, James? Do we see any craziness and insanity from row 2 as we get ready to hit turn 1?
I mean, JW and Simon aren't psychopaths, but they're definitely going to make some efforts to not let the top two run away. We won't see any dive bombs or risky maneuvers, but they're not going to let them run away with this.
No pit stops will be necessary here this evening. That is something that will not be true for the Shock Series race coming up at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That one's going to be a very interesting race as well. Perfect little short track for those PM18s. They'll make their way through turn number 13. Little bit of a late exit for the pace car here as well. Basically have to get completely off of turn 14 before we're going to see the pace car duck in here. Field's going to be under control of Christian Jasper and Wes Shire. And as always, race fans, the start of this one is going to be all yours. Exactly what we expected out of lap number one. Christian Jasper, Wes Shire starting to break away just a little bit. J.W. Miller not going anywhere. Stephen Thompson holding on as well as they get to turn one. Almost looked like Jasper had some issues there with the cold tires on that first lap. Wes Shire able to come past early in the lap. Jasper fought right back to it. And I'll tell you what here, James, now that clean air is going to come into play, it may be very difficult to get past Christian Jasper.
Yeah, you wonder if that was Wes's opportunity right there, and he just missed being able to pull it off.
We're going to see the draft really start to come into play once they get off of basically turn 13, because 14 is wide open in these cars. That really is going to be a key to keeping up the momentum here as we see Jasper running very wide. Two completely different lines there out of Christian Jasper and Wes Shire. Man, what a tow. Shire gets down the front straightaway. Elects not to take it as they get to turn number one. I guess discretion, the better part of valor early on in this race. I'll tell you what, James, it's the second chicane layout that they're utilizing here. That almost drives like a tight set of S's more than a true chicane.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a unique corner with how it's placed. I really cannot imagine driving circuit without it, honestly. It's one of my more favorite parts of it.
Yeah, it definitely takes that. If you don't run that chicane in the layout, it really, in these cars, would be completely full throttle, basically from turn 1 almost all the way through turn 6. See Westshire right up on the rear wing of Christian Jasper off of turn number 14. They'll come down the front straightaway, and Shire's going to get an even bigger tow this time. You almost wonder, do you not want to be the leader when we get to 1 to go?
I think that's what he's doing. You know, Wes is ridiculously cerebral, and he is getting right behind him. I don't think you can fit a piece of paper between the front and rear wings of their cars. So he's got something up his...
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And something else that we kind of we'll be able to show it the next time they come around to that section of the racetrack. You go uphill out of turn 5 and you crest the hill right before what would be the braking zone for turn 6. That's not an easy little kink, if you will, because you're basically off. The car is very light when you're having to get on the brakes.
Yeah, that is another point of contention for me when we ran this track last season.
Now Shire's going to have the look down to the inside towards turn 1. Really couldn't do anything about it there. Oh, man, big bizzle from Christian Jasper. That's going to bring J.W. Miller into the party. 3-car battle for the race lead into the chicane.
Oh, boy.
Wow, what a corner by Christian Jasper. Not only does he retake the lead, but he forces West Shire into a battle with J.W. Miller.
Man, that didn't work out for West.
No, it most certainly did not.
I think he thought he had him. I don't think Wes was expecting Jasper to fight back like that. We certainly didn't.
Yeah, let's take a look here at the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay here. There's the block from Jasper. However, here's where things really start to get spicy as Jasper's able to fight back. He had the inside lane into 2, and that really put West Shire into a bad spot.
Yeah, he just slammed his stuff on the table with that move. That took so much cojones, keeping the car pinned right there.
Shire able to come back past J.W. Miller. Let's get you the replay here. West driving like an angry West Shire now. Not sure that that's a good thing for Christian when he eventually gets caught back up to him. But, oh, man, looks like Jasper may have had an issue there as well. Because he had a pretty big lead, and that's tightened right back up again.
Yeah, I was worried they were falling without draft range, but something happened. There's no way they're going to catch that much up, will they?
Oh, man, Jasper's going to run wide again. Man, I love seeing the tail end of these cars getting all happy through that section of the racetrack. This has absolutely brought J.W. Miller into the race for the lead, though. What was a 2-car fight's now going to be 3.
Yeah, Jasper's trying to run away from Rest like he's a member of the Howling Banshee. Again, check out Tales from Rukon this Friday on YouTube, 8 o'clock.
Man, dropping plugs for West Shire's storytelling Dungeons and Dragons escapades on YouTube. Pretty good show. Check it out if you have not yet. And if you haven't yet, why the heck not?
Exactly. I always try to help out my homies.
Wow, that was a big bobble there from Shire. Gonna let J.W. Miller catch right back in again. Man, Shire again sees the rear of the car step out. You wonder if that's a result of running a little bit lower downforce package, anticipating being up at the front of the field.
Yeah, normally you can deal with that pretty well. Like I had low downforce on the car last week at Olton and Chalk, and I was able to do pretty decently with that, but you're gonna scrub a lot more tire life off. And it looks like we're starting to see Wes burn the rears off a little bit. If they want to keep close to Jasper, Wes may have to consider letting JW by.
That's going to be the interesting part of this, is watching how that entire fight develops over the course of the race here. And Christian Jasper just set the fastest lap of the race last time by at a 1:17.56. And this is by far the tightest battle on the racetrack. So we're going to stay right here with your race leaders. Behind fourth place Stephen C. Thompson, it's 5 seconds, almost 6 seconds now. Back to Matt Houston in fifth. Simon Fell, a full second back of Houston. Chris Kresge, 3.5 back of Fell. Timothy Watson, 3 seconds back of Kresge. So no real fights going on anywhere else in the field. Shire able to hold on to the rear of Christian Jasper. Trouble on the racetrack for Peter Donchak. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay on this one. A little bit off on corner exit.
Nice save. Nice
Oh,
save, Petey.
Then he loops it around again. No harm, no foul there. Doesn't make any contact with anything. Oh, we've got a change in third. J.W. Miller having an off track. That allows Stephen C. Thompson to come past. There's Miller just missing it on corner exit. Gets it wrapped back up, but there's Thompson coming around to the inside. And Stephen C. Thompson set the fastest lap of the race. Now Wes Shire going to take it right back at a 1:17.45. He's only about 4/100ths of a second faster than Christian Jasper, though. These two now starting to stretch their legs a little bit as the gap is back to 3 seconds. J.W. Miller coming back around Stephen Thompson down the front straightaway. So basically now everything back in the same order it was. Just the only difference is that the gap between second and third is now up to almost 3.2 seconds. How difficult is it if you're Wes Shire? You see Christian Jasper, he's not running away from you, but he is in front of you. How difficult is it to run your own line when you see that lead car doing something different than what you are?
Oh my god, it's incredibly difficult. It's so easy to get tunnel vision, especially when you're right there nose to tail and you know you can get by. It's so hard to keep doing your own line. You always get stuck running theirs. So that really shows who's the smarter driver out there when you can stick to your own thing while following behind another car.
Absolutely. So, taking a look here, Christian Jasper now up to 0.6 of a second ahead of Wes Shire. Trying to take a look at the deltas. There's not really one section of the course where one driver is significantly faster than the other. Cross flags were out last time by the flag stand. Christian Jasper holding on to that 0.4 of a second advantage, but Wes Shire definitely in draft range. Good battle as well for the third position, J.W. Miller and Stephen Thompson, as Wes Shire goes fastest lap at a 1:17.22. Looking at the point standings and how this is all going to potentially play out here tonight, if you're Wes Shire, you want the win, but is it worth something that could potentially take you out of the race? J.W. Miller is currently the points leader, but it's only by 10 points. Shire runs second, Miller runs third. You really can't afford to give anything up here.
No, but at the same rate, you get more points for finishing first. Enough said. Speaking of going for first.
Yeah, down the front straightaway. Here comes the move by Wes Shire. You wonder if he didn't back out just a little bit there purposefully after Jasper slammed the door shut last time. The gap now back to 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths as they work through the chicane. This has been a spectacular race to this point. Great battle here at the front of the field. Shire closing right back in as they make their way into turn 7.
We may have had a small problem for Simon Fell.
Yeah. Oh, and Jasper's off the racetrack.
Oh.
Race leader Christian Jasper goes off. He's able to rejoin, but that's going to put Wes Shire way out in front and bring Jasper right back in to J.W. Miller and Stephen Thompson. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay here. See what happened. Oh, man, Jasper just overcooked it. You almost wonder if you're not losing a little bit of adhesion there in the tires as we get late in this race.
Wow.
Let's get the issue for Simon Fell here as well. Oh, man, he lost it into turn 2. Able to get the car stopped before he hits anything, but very long time to get that car hooked back around.
He is so lucky he didn't stuff it into that barrier. Did you see how close it was? Like, wow, he is... That's amazing he's still able to fight another day.
Chris Kresge having an issue as well.
Oh.
Fighting with Timothy Watson. Oh, man, nice save, Kresge. We'll take that one. This is the old, oh my God, which F1 team ran this livery? The 555 on one side, the Lucky Strikes on the other.
Oh my God, the BAR.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
The old disgusting BAR car.
Oh, that team had some really out there liveries. Even when they went to Honda, when they had that weird Earth
Yes,
livery that
yes, the
half of
Earth
it,
car.
yes, and half of it always burned off because of the wrapping they used couldn't handle the heat from the tailpipes. Magnificent.
Seeing Matt Houston had an issue getting off the racetrack. Let's pick up this battle here between Kresge and Watson. Oh, Kresge going to get off the racetrack as Timothy Watson comes past. That was out of turn number 1. Good Lord, we're getting action all over the racetrack now. You almost wonder here, is it worthwhile for Jasper to let the draft come back into play? He is running laps faster than Wes Shire to the tune of about half a second. The problem is he's 3 seconds back, and we're down to 5 laps to go. Timothy Watson having an off-track issue. Loops it around. Again, doesn't hit anything. That is one thing about NJMP. There is a ton of runoff area. All the way. Oh, and J.W. Miller goes off. He loops it around. That's going to drop him back to the 4th position. Put Christian Jasper continuing in 2nd, but it promotes Stephen C. Thompson up to 3rd. Man, you wonder if they haven't completely burnt off the rear tires on these cars at this point.
Yeah, everyone's hanging on for dear life.
We're down to 4 laps to go, and I tell you what, James, the gap is now down inside of 2 seconds as they come down the front straightaway. Last lap, 1:17.95 for Jasper, 1:18.37. New fastest lap of the race, Christian Jasper, 1:17.2 to Wes Shire's 1:18.24. This is not over. Christian Jasper a full second faster than Wes Shire last time by. I mean, you can see the gap closing, and I'm not sure what the tow range is, but if Jasper's able to make up another half a second or so, he is absolutely going to be within that draft range of Wes Shire. Take a look at the lap times as they come across. 1:17.95 for Shire, 1:17.3 for Jasper. Another 0.6 of a second cut out on lap number 16. Excuse me, 17. Working at lap number 18. 3 to go. Jasper continuing to eat into the lead of Wes Shire. This may be the best recovery drive we've ever seen here on the National Racing Network. If Christian Jasper is able to get caught back up to Wes Shire. Down the front straightaway, it's a half second. New fastest lap, Christian Jasper, 1:16.83 to a 1:17.62 for West Shire. It's another 0.8 of a second, and James, he's got to be within draft range at this point.
Oh, he passed draft range a long time ago. Oh, I don't know if Wes can hold him off. That is a lot of speed in that car.
We're not measuring in tenths anymore. We're going to measure in car lengths.
We're measuring with our eyeballs.
Yeah, it was the furthest the gap's getting out to was about 4 car lengths. Call it 3 as it stands right now, and they are going to see the white flag next time by. Does Jasper have to be close enough to make the move into 1, though?
Yes, I don't know if he'd be able to make the move anywhere else. This is going to be his best chance coming right now.
Jasper's going to be right there. Shire trying to break the toe down the front straightaway. White flag is out, 1 to go here in the Bolt Series. Here's the move into turn 1. Jasper down to the inside. Shire going to try the crossover into turn 2. Not able to make the move. Oh, what a pass by Christian Jasper into 1. Now the question becomes, where does West Shire make the comeback move? Can he get him up the hill here?
He might, but it's going to be an all-time move if he can pull it down. It's not going to be easy.
A little bit tail happy out of the 67 of Jasper. Shire is right there. Shire tries to sell him the dummy. Jasper doesn't bite.
Can we see a bump and run?
Oh!
On the side right there.
Almost.
Oh, there's space. There's space. Is he going to send it? Oh.
Shire tries to back off and get on the throttle early. This is going to be through turns 13 and 14 for the final time. Shire going to be right there. Jasper closes off the inside lane. Here's the crossover move. Down the front straightaway. Drag race to the line. Jasper gets it.
Wow.
What a finish. Christian Jasper over West Shire. Oh my goodness.
That is the best Bolt race in Bolt race history. Oh my, that was action-packed from top to bottom. Wow. Oh.
Stephen Thompson claims third here this evening. Let's take a look at it again. West Shire was right there entering turn 14. And again, this is the biggest thing. This is a flat corner. Shire was able to take advantage of the draft, ran it a little bit wide to build up the momentum. And here's the run down to the finish. I tell you what, Jasper, classy move, gave him the space, didn't make the big effort to block, held his line, and how about that for a race finish? Right about 1 car length for Christian Jasper. That was impressive, and he's going to rightfully burn him down. Let's get you your race results.
He earned those burnouts. Like, wow.
Jasper by 71 thousandths of a second over West Shire. Stephen Thompson third. J.W. Miller, Chris Kresge, your top 5. Matt Houston, Simon Fell, Timothy Watson, Bill Walker, and Peter Donchak will round out the field here this evening. Let's bring in our, let's see. We'll do our third place finisher here this evening. Steven, I'll tell you what, man. You had a great battle there with J.W. Miller. You had some off tracks. He had some off tracks. Ultimately, you were able to come out ahead and pick up another podium finish here tonight.
Yeah, actually, JW was nice enough to post his setup in the chat a couple hours ago. I'm not sure when. So I think I was running something similar to him, and we both run it tight, so I couldn't really follow him, but I was more than happy to tow. Wes and Christian were definitely the fastest two of the night. So just being able to stick with them and again get away from that mid pack, I didn't feel confident in practice. There was a lot of off tracks in that too. But yeah, I think it really just came down to who was willing to send it in deepest at the sector 3, and a lot of people were sliding, and it was just so easy to hop a curb and lose it.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that tonight, and the little off tracks seemed to bite very hard tonight compared to some of the other places that we've run.
Yeah, whatever that middle hairpin is after the fast kink to the right where JW ended up losing it, I missed that turn like half a dozen times in practice. So I get it. I was lifting and coasting because it was so deadly, and I was waiting for someone to do it, and it's just dangerous.
All right, Stephen. Well, congratulations on another podium finish here. Let's make sure we get the sponsor plugs and thank yous done again.
Oh, the shout outs are the same as last time, but we'll add on NRN and everyone in this league. It's been really fun, a lot of close competition, and those really close finishes don't leave a bitter taste because it's just awesome racing. So congrats to everyone in the league. It's been a good showing so far.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it here. And let's get our runner up, Mr. West Shire. You've gotten the podium twice now here this evening. I guess now, so we talked about it here, you're going after the win in shock, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, if the pattern holds, it'll be second place, probably to Jason. Oh man, I mean, qualifying by 0.003 of a second, the race by 71 thousandths. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson just said to us, you can't even be upset when you lose a race like that. Like, you can't be overly bitter because the racing was just so darn good at the front of the field. You and Christian absolutely put on a show tonight.
Yeah, we were just saying in the waiting room, like it's amazing when like how good iRacing is when you can trust the guy you're racing with. It's just some of the most fun and just exhilarating gaming you can have. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Always a pleasure racing with Jasper.
Now, late in the race here, he had his off track, and it was a very big moment. You saw the gap creeping in. Was there anything you could have done differently? I mean, was he just different setup wise, or what was the big difference there between your car and his late in that race?
Honestly, I think it's just driver fatigue on my end. I'm definitely feeling a little under the weather still, and second race of the night, getting towards the end of it. Yeah, it's tough, but
Yeah, you
yeah,
got
I mean,
one more to go yet here, brother.
yeah, it's a long one, but yeah, no, Jasper drove that so well. He
uh,
absolutely deserved to win that. It was
yeah,
really, really, really
it
fun.
it was an incredible finish. We saw you. It almost looked like you backed off at 13 a little bit to try to set the run up. Is there anything you would
Yeah,
have done differently in hindsight through those last couple of corners?
maybe back up like 5, 10 feet more, like less than a car length for sure. I just didn't have enough draft at the end. I think I popped a little too early as well, but man, I had such a fun race.
It was awesome. And we forgot to do this last time, so let's make sure we get the sponsor plugs and thank yous in before we let you go here.
Yeah, well, as always, gotta thank you for broadcasting. Gotta thank Jason for the whole idea of this Tuesday night rock block. Gotta thank Homestead Coffee keeping me awake and alert enough, particularly when I'm feeling as bad as I am, to drive these things around all night. And of course, shout out to my other life. Friday night on YouTube, Tales from Rukon, 7:30 Eastern. Little live Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot of fun.
And
Yeah,
I made sure to give a great plug for you guys again mid race.
I,
Appreciate it.
I was going to say James is dropping references from the show in here mid race. That was pretty spectacular. So, all right,
Yeah,
Wes,
there.
good luck here as we get ready to roll off in the TNT Shock series here in just a little bit.
Yeah, thanks. See you again in another second place in an hour or so.
Hopefully to me this time.
Yeah, let's get our race winner in here. We're seeing the battle come off the final corner. Christian, first things first, how did you do that? The recovery drive from 40 seconds back, it seemed like, with 8 laps to go.
I couldn't tell you. That was probably the hardest I have ever driven in such a long time. Honest to God, I thought he had it in the bag when I lost it. My main focus was just keep it pointed forward, get back on the tarmac, settle in second place. If you can catch him, cool. But otherwise, just run your race. So I just started trying to put in some quali laps, and I didn't think I had that much pace on him.
Well, yeah, you had pace on him for sure. Over the course of that run, you set the best lap of the race at a 1:16.831. Wes's best lap for the race, a 1:17.2. You were on absolute flyers for that many laps. How are you able, as a driver, how do you manage the tires there? Or is it just damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead there?
Well, at least for me on this track, I was able to pretty much put it how I wanted to throughout the entire stint. As the fuel got lower, it really didn't feel that much different. There was maybe a little bit of tire wear where I felt like I couldn't take some corners as hard as I usually could, but for the most part, it just felt like they were warm. I should have looked back on the tire wear on that just to see what exactly they were at, because the car it felt like it was on rails once I really got into the groove. Like it just felt good.
Yeah, we could say that. The pass on Wes, was there any thought that you made it too early in the lap, or did you think that turn 1 was going to be the only realistic shot?
I felt like if I didn't get it at turn 1, I was going to get him in maybe the little tentacle section, because I knew that there was another point that I was really gaining time on him under braking. So I felt like if it wasn't going to happen there, I could probably try to make something happen if I can stay on him at this point. But I did feel pretty confident about that, especially earlier in the race. We went side by side through all the way through turn 1, all the way up to the chicane. So I felt like I at least had a little bit of something, but it was more risk than anything. I was like, okay, this is it. Let's do it.
Well, it was absolutely incredible. Easily the best recovery drive we've ever seen here on the National Racing Network. Congratulations on the win. We've talked to you twice tonight now. Are you going to just run away with the shock race here as well now that you've qualified up front in both races? You've finished up front in both races. Should we just mail this next one in?
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say no. Short tracks, sometimes they tend to be my kryptonite. It's my home race, so I'm still going to try to do my best here. But for whatever reason, sometimes short tracks, they're just not nice to me, but I'm still going to put everything I put in that you saw tonight in both races. So we'll see what we can do. Let's see if we can work some magic.
All right, buddy. Congratulations on the win here. Let's get the sponsor plugs and thank yous handled here while we're at it.
All right. Huge thank you to Get 'Em Fashion. Thank you to Sunset Arctic, Rosh's Way Bakery. Shout out to Soul Chess again. Thank you guys. If you're watching the broadcast, really hope you're enjoying it. Thank you to you as well for putting this on, and huge thank you to Jason for putting this whole umbrella of TNT going on. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. That is for sure. Well, Christian, thank you very much. Look forward to talking to you here in a little bit. And James, as we get ready to head off to the Shock Series, my goodness, what did we just see?
Absolute barn burner of a race. And this series needs it. It's been struggling for participation, and it's a shame because Bolt is a great series, and the USF is a fun little car. So hopefully a crazy race like this is what it needs to get the participation that, frankly, it deserves, because that was an absolute blast to watch.
Yes, easily an iRacing top 10 performance out of Christian Jasper. Just unreal. And we're going to get to do it again here in just a little bit, because coming up in about 15 minutes or so, it will be the TNT Shock Series from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. But until then, James Watson's got to go get in the race car. We're going to get ourselves ready for another big show. For James Watson, Connor Baldwin, our camera designer extraordinaire, who had a chore doing this racetrack. My name is Chris Graham. It is a pleasure that you've all spent part of your Tuesday night with us. We will talk to you in just a little bit. Have a good night, everybody.